Trends. Well, in the El Paso border sector alone, family unit apprehensions at the border have climbed 1,816% from March last year to April this year. Earlier this month, Border Patrol said it apprehends nearly 930 people there a day. And now there's a wall going up, a wall on private land. Chris Kobach joins us now. Chris, thanks for joining us. So, there's been a lot of frustration over legal challenges and ways in which the government, administrative state, has blocked this president from building the wall. You are building it, and you've got an exclusive for us on Fox and Friends. Tell us about it.
Yeah, Pete, this is the first time in American history that a private organization called We Build the Wall, but this is the first time any private organization has built border wall on private land. And it's happening right here in the El Paso area. And it's not just any piece of land. This piece of land is right where the El Paso wall that separates El Paso and Ciudad Juarez, where that wall ends. There's been a half-mile gap between the existing wall and Mount Cristo Rey. And it was a ridiculously large gap that smuggling of both people and drugs would go through. But get this, the Army Corps of Engineers said that piece of land is too rugged to build on. You can't build there. Well, We Build the Wall proved them wrong, and the wall has been going up over the weekend. We're working 24/7 over the holiday weekend to give America a present on this Memorial Day.
Let me get this straight. So you've been spending Memorial Day weekend literally building a wall in a gap in our border on private land. The walls, is it almost done?
Yes, it is almost done. And literally, we are standing in the gap and building the wall. It's extraordinary. And it's not just any wall, too. The typical fencing you see on the southern border, where we do have steel bollard fencing, is garden variety steel that lasts only 25 years. This is all weathering steel that lasts 75 years. And someone might say, well, hey, Chris, it's a half a mile. Well, how much impact can that have? As you mentioned in your lead-in, Pete, this closes a gap in the El Paso metro area, and it's far more important than 50 miles out in the desert where no one's crossing. There are, in a given night, over 100 migrants will come through this gap, and more than $100,000 in drugs will come through.
Built with private funds and donations to your organization.
To We Build the Wall. And it's so important. We hear the bad news recently that a liberal federal judge is blocking the federal government from building part of the wall. That's why it's all the more important now, Pete, that American citizens step forward like they have already, contribute to We Build the Wall. We'll keep on building as long as people keep chipping in. And by the way, the average contribution's only been $67.
Wow.
But so many people have chipped in. We've got this project. This is the first one, and we're already getting ready to start the second one.
a new wall. We've done a lot of it, and we're doing a lot more. You see it over here. This is unfortunately a protector that I guess you need, because you don't know who's on the other side of the border. I hope it works. This is just a concrete protector. But the wall behind it, and you see it all the way down, and we're going to be building, we've already built a lot of it. It looks great. It's better and much more effective than the previous wall. And we actually can do it faster, and it's less expensive, if you can believe it. So it's better, faster, and less expensive. Other than that, who knows? Thank you all for being here. It's a great stretch of wall. See where it's going? And this is going all the way up. And much of it is like this. We have different walls. We have some that it's holding back water, so obviously this doesn't do that trick. But we have a lot of big concrete divisions that hold back various parcels of water. We have a lot of water going up. But this is, I would say, the majority would be in this style. And some of it's 30 feet, some of it's 15 feet, some of it's 12 feet, depending on the area. Much of it's reinforced heavily and very, very hard to climb. If you want to climb that, it's pretty sharp up on top, too. If you want to climb that, you deserve whatever you can get. But it's a very, very hard. It's meant anti-climb. It's called anti-climb. So it's a great wall, and it looks, I think it looks fantastic. Very see-through, so you're able to see the other side, which is a very important element. Okay?
Mr. President, do you have any response to lawsuits from filed by California and other states?
No. You know what's interesting about California? They're begging me for the wall in San Diego. You know that, because the people were pouring through in San Diego, going over the front lawns, going into people's houses. So they want the wall done in San Diego. And we did it, and then you hear they don't want the wall. They want the wall. If you ever took it down, they wanted that one so badly, and we did it. We did a great job. We stopped everybody, actually everybody from coming over. It was a tremendous success, but California is always the first one to complain. And I don't mean the people of California. They're fantastic. I'm talking about the politicians in California. They complain. When their forests go up, they complain. They got to take care of their forests a lot better. But when they want the wall in San Diego, but then they're always the first one. So they were the first one to pull the National Guard, and they need the National Guard, especially in California. So we're very proud of this. As you know, this area is an area that a lot of people used to come through, and since we've had it up, Kevin, I think not one person's been able to get through. These people can speak to it better. Come on over here. You guys are my friends. Come on over here. Say hello to the fake news, fellas. Fake news.
Some of us are okay.
Mr. President, this morning when you spoke of your ICE nominee in his withdrawal,
yeah.
you spoke about going into tougher.
No, we're going to see what happens. We want to have people. We want to have everything just perfecto. We'll see what happens. But we may be going. We may be going in a different. You'll be seeing very soon. We may be going in a different direction. If anybody wants to speak up about this, so
Gloria,
we just got this up, and I'd like you to, Gloria, if you would, Gloria, maybe you'll say a few words.
Thank you, Mr. President. You know, as the chief here in El Centro, we're very appreciative of this wall. These men and women out here in this area of 2 miles were experiencing a high number of assaults and use of force incidents. This was prior to this wall being built. This is a 30-foot border wall that are pillar bollards, and you can see through it. For us, it's a huge advantage to see what's on the other side, because before, with the old landing mat, we could not see the adversary. We couldn't see the threat that was on that side. We would get rocked constantly. We would get items thrown at us every day. With this 30-foot wall, we haven't had those type of incidents. Just here in these 2 miles, assaults have dropped by 65%. Just in this area. That's very important to me as a chief, because I don't want our agents hurt. I want them out here protecting the country and doing their job. In these 2 miles, just illegal entries alone have dropped by 75% just in this area. Yes, the wall is here, and people have, and maybe around it are breaching the area. They're coming around.
The only way, by the way, and the only way they get in is by going around it. They're not going over it. Because you have a lot of tremendous people watching. They can't get the ladders and go over it. Plus, it's very dangerous. It's very high to go over it. So when Gloria says 65%, this is 100%, but when they go down further, but we're going further and further out. Every day we're building more wall, and we're going further and further, and you'll be at 99.9, I predict.
Well, we will, and we have about 11 miles, Mr. President, thank you for that, construction starts with this type of wall in June of this year.
Good, it's going condition.
Yep,
Yeah.
it will
And
be.
sir, we have some of our sheriffs here.
Good,
Our
please.
fabulous partners.
Sheriffs,
Very
come on over
thankful
here.
for.
Central casting, you can't cast
Yeah,
it. What do you have?
they're
You don't have anybody in Hollywood that looks like these guys.
I'm a sheriff from the Central Valley of California, and I have 3 other Central Valley sheriffs. We feel this impact from 400 miles away. Each of us have experienced heinous crimes that are committed by people in our country illegally. And I just want to take this opportunity to thank this president for doing the right thing and standing up for law enforcement in this country. It is greatly appreciated,
Thank
and
you,
I
Sheriff.
just want you to know that.
We're with you.
Hi,
This
Congressman.
sheriff.
How are you?
Good. He got a good one.
How are you?
He got a good one.
I'm Sheriff Donnie Youngblood, Kern County.
There's a great group of people.
Good seeing you again.
Sheriff, say
Mr. President.
something if you'd like.
So we don't have on the south end of our county, Pinal County, Arizona. We border here with Pima County, and together we're constantly working to try to fight the drug trafficking and the human trafficking that's coming into this country. A couple of weeks ago, I was in the office, and we issued a challenge for congressmen and women and senators to come down here and see the border. I appreciate our president leading by example and coming down here. You can see the benefits of the wall, and hopefully as we progress with this, we'll start to see those effects in our county as well, because we're fighting this every day, the human trafficking and the drug trafficking. And I know Sheriff Napier out of Pima County can talk a little bit more about that.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Mark Napier. I'm the Sheriff of Pima County, Arizona. I am the largest border county in the United States. The strategic deployment of physical barriers along our southern border will always be part of the picture of border security, which is absolutely fundamentally necessary for humanitarian reasons, public safety reasons, and also for national security reasons. Anyone who would suggest that we do not have a crisis on our southern border is being intellectually dishonest to the point of being dishonest with malice. We have a humanitarian crisis which is very clear and compelling. We have a compelling crisis of public safety with human trafficking, drug trafficking, sex trafficking coming up through the border. This is not make-believe. This is something that we live with every day as border sheriffs. So we applaud the efforts of the current administration to secure our border. It's long overdue. And those who would argue that we do not have a crisis on our southern border need to come to my part of the world and see what's really going on. We interdicted 58 pounds of methamphetamine just the other day, and last month 13,000 fentanyl pills. My deputies recover about 100 bodies a year in the deserts of Pima County, Arizona. So please do not tell me this is not a public safety crisis, not a humanitarian crisis, and not a national security concern. So this is a very serious issue, and it's time our government got serious about it. Thank you.
And they don't come here. The people that are opposed, mostly Democrats. I mean, Republicans are for it, but mostly Democrats. They don't come here. And we want them. Yeah, we want them to come here. We could take you to sections. Now it looks nice and calm because we have the wall. But if you would have seen this before we put the wall up, you wouldn't have believed it. But we could take you to sections that are so dangerous that you can't walk through them. Okay? You can't walk through them. So, thank you very much, all of you.
Sir, we also have Chief Flores here to
Come on, Chief.
talk about the ports of entry and field
Say a
ops.
few words, please.
Good afternoon, Pete Flores. I'm the Director for Field Operations for the San Diego Field Office. My AOR consists of all the California and Mexico ports of entry, along with the airport, seaport in San Diego. I can tell you from our perspective, as we talk comprehensive border security, when border security means national security, at our ports of entry, where we have, last year we did 79.3 million travelers come through our port of entry. We also did $50 billion worth of trade that came through our ports of entry just northbound on what we see down here. So then additional investment in officers, additional investment in technology, NII equipment, our x-ray equipment, and what we have, our ability to scan, screen, and inspect is a tremendous investment in how we do business on the border and securing our border, as well as allowing for the facilitation of legitimate trade and travel. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Fantastic job.
I'm Jenny Day with the local media here in Calexico. We have been covering this now for
Good.
months.
Thank you.
I'm just curious, though, so many of these migrants are crossing illegally. So how would shutting down the southern border help if they're crossing illegally and not through?
Well, we're going to shut it down if we have to, but Mexico can do it very easily. And they've been, as you know, Jenny, they've been doing a very good job over the last 4 days. I will tell you, we're going to shut it down if we have to. We're going to tariff the cars coming in that they make in Mexico if we have to. But Mexico's been doing a great job. I want to thank the president of Mexico He's the first one. He's really been doing the job. He's helping Mexico, too. Not only economically and not only because I won't be forced to shut it down or do the tariffs, but he really is helping Mexico. He's doing a great thing for his country. So I want to thank, through your camera, I want to thank him, the President of Mexico. Thank you. Anybody?
If we could ask, we've seen the letter that your lawyers have sent about your tax returns. Is there anything you'd like to say about it?
Nothing whatsoever. Nothing whatsoever. I have nothing to say about it. It's I got elected. They elected me. Now they keep going. I'm under audit. When you're under audit, you don't do it. But I'm under audit. Other people are under audit, and nobody would do it when you are going through an audit. And I always go through audits. They audit me all the time. I don't know if they audit you, Sheriff. I don't know. Do they audit you people? I don't think these people ever get audited. They'd be afraid to audit you people. But, so that's it. Any other question?
Talk to Attorney General Barr before his testimony. Can you talk to him at all about
I don't know, but I think he's doing a fantastic job. I think he's a fantastic Attorney General. He is so respected in the Department of Justice and by these people. It's what we need. He's a great gentleman. Thank you very much, everybody. We'll see you back at the next stop. Thank you.